Hey, yo! Hello. Hello, everybody. How's it going? There's a dog staring at me very intently. He's been wanting a treat for the past like 20 minutes. So I feel like I should give that to him. You know how it goes. Locales, 17 months. My goodness. Good God. That's more than I can count. I can't even count that high. I'm gonna give the dog a treat. And I'm gonna say hi to all of you. And I'm gonna stream. But I gotta give the dog a treat first. All right, here we go. Amazing. Here we go. Praise the snoot. It's the snoot cam. It's the snoot cam. Treat cam? Yeah, not one. Good morning, says Lo-Fi Turtle. The nat ones, they do happen. They do happen, and unfortunately, that's your fault. That's on you. That's entirely on you. And I can't do anything about that. So get good? I guess? Obsidian Sprite says, first time watching on the Owncast. Is neat cool over here. Yeah, for those who are not aware, I've got a little thing. If you go to live.endeavorance.tv, let me paste this in the other places. If you want to watch the stream, but you don't want to be on like a big tech platform, you can go to live.endeavorance.tv. It looks just like this. You might recognize this stream because it's the stream that we're watching. This is a self-hosted Twitch-ish like kind of thing that I own and operate and run. So even if you don't have access to Twitch or YouTube for some reason, you can go to live.endeavorance.tv, which is currently over there, and you can watch from there. So, yay! Hello, Mysterious Omen and Ethereal Ranger. People popping in. Over to the Owncast. Yeah, it's called Owncast. It is. Let me actually pull up the Owncast website. So it's this. And it's really cool. Owncast is sick. It is like a super easy like host it yourself streaming platform. And I just like I stream to Twitch or YouTube, I'm also streaming to live.endeavorance.tv, and people can chat and sign in with their various identities and all that stuff. But it's a completely free, open source, self-hosted thing, and it's pretty freaking cool, I will say. Among the like self-hosted stuff that I've set up for myself, this is among the easiest, which is pretty neat. All right. Anyway. I didn't do my intro, and I don't know where the dog is. Where's the dog? Where'd he go? Oh dear. Oh, he's under the desk currently. Let me hold on. Endeavorance noticed me. My day is brighter. Well, look, I try my best to notice as many things as I can. It's kind of a problem. I can hydrate. Thank you. Fun, pretty cool. Okay. Let me fix the dog cam. So y'all can see what I'm seeing. It doesn't seem like a particularly cozy spot, given that like literally over there is a dedicated like foam bed with a blanket and his toys and his name on it, but instead he's choosing to be behind my footrest under the desk. You know, I'm not a dog. What do I know? I clearly know nothing about how to be properly cozy. How's it going, everybody? My name is Endeavorance. It is Friday, February 6th. Hell yeah. There's a year in there somewhere. I can't be bothered to remember. So it's happening outside. My goodness. It is certainly going on out there. I looked out there and it was just going. All of it was still happening, despite my best effort. I will say, though, some of it ain't too bad. Some of it's not so bad. For example, Oh, we got itches. Oh, we got an itch. Oh no. Oh, problem solved. Okay. So some of it is very, very funny, and some of it is very, very awful. But let's just take a quick sec. And pull up a nice little website. Okay, they're doing a little better today. So, Bitcoin done beefed it yesterday, like super beefed it. Here is Bitcoin over the past year, and this was like yesterday, right here. Let me. Boom. So we started. Let's see. Started the year at $96,000 per Bitcoin, which, to be clear, is so much more than it should be to begin with. I am floored that it is still valued at anything above $0. Yesterday, it bottomed out around, so this is saying 65. I was checking in when it was around 6,000 or 60,000. So it dropped 30% value over the course of the year so far. And here's the thing. Bitcoin is nothing. This is nothing, right? Like, this is nothing. It's not a currency that adds value to the world. It's a currency that holds value by trying to prove that it is difficult to create by absorbing value. And so you've got a currency who is based on scarcity, based on nothing but trying to use existing resources to create a currency that doesn't do anything except exist. So it's already barely a concept. And all this stuff has been built on top of crypto. For anybody who's not seen me before, I am not a crypto boy. I have not been a crypto boy this whole time. I've been a not crypto boy. But like, we don't get a whole lot from crypto existing, right? All we really get is more financial crimes and tech bros trying to sell us this concept of Web3 that's Web2 but worse in every way and more capitalism. So while this is crashing, and like, we've known this is a Ponzi scheme this whole time, you can check all the various crypto forums and boards and whatnot, and some of the people in there are finally realizing that they're being left with the fucking bag, right? Like crypto has always been a Ponzi scheme. It's always been that way. You want to get in early so that you can make money when it spikes before people realize there's not value in it and they dump it. And what's happening right now is the rich people who have held these like made a big deal out of holding a whole bunch of Bitcoin because they're like, it's the currency of the future, and we're gonna have a big old cache of Bitcoin and blah 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 blah. They're all selling. Like, they've liquidated so much out of crypto, and the only people who are staying with it are the ones that have turned it into a fucking religion. The whole like, I'm never gonna sell, hold forever. Like, I don't care how low it goes, I'm always going to buy. Like, that's just religion at that point. Like, you just have faith in a like shitty network. And I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to never change your mind about something ever in all of time, with all of the information that's out there. Like, I get it if it's like I get the sunk cost fallacy. I get, like, I've made, I'm somebody who's invested in crypto and I've made it my entire fucking personality. I get it, dog. I was that way with a lot of things. And it turns out making one thing your entire personality is not healthy. Like, very much not healthy. So is crypto going to disappear tomorrow? Probably not. I hope very much so that this is one of the steps towards essentially undermining the existence of crypto, because we don't need it. It doesn't provide value. It just doesn't. There are cases where it can be used in ways that do help some things for some people to circumvent certain systems, i.e. like people who are in countries that have like really unstable banking and they need to transfer money across borders or something, and like the problem is that their local government is all fucked up and so on and so forth. But like, that doesn't require crypto necessarily. Crypto just is an easy avenue for it. but it's not a requirement for that to happen, and it's a very inefficient way for that to happen. And also, it's essentially saying, yeah, you know, this nuclear reactor that's extremely under-optimized is exuding a whole bunch of radiation into the local municipality, but it does provide energy. And then somebody else could be like, well, what if we just had a functional nuclear reactor that had the proper safety equipment and wasn't emitting radiation? And people would be like, how dare you? This system is working. Like, that's what crypto is. It's a thing that solves a problem that doesn't really fully exist in a very unoptimized way. And they're just trying to find ways to convince each other that it's still valuable. And I say this as somebody who's been paying attention to Bitcoin since fucking 2013. It's not like I recently hopped on the hating crypto bros train. It's like this has been this way. I'm gonna fix the dog cam. Like, blockchain is also barely a technology that's viable that does anything. Like, blockchain is just a database, but worse. It's a database that takes more electricity and also can be subjugated by a properly focused attacker on a given network of a given scale. Like, if you do capitalism well enough, you can subjugate crypto, which is a problem, right? Like, that's not the direction we need to go. Crypto people looked at the internet, saw that a handful of massive corporations run by billionaires used capitalism to colonize the internet and essentially just create a surveillance hellscape for all of us. And they're like, huh, the problem is that the ones doing the hellscape are not the people. We need to bring the hellscape to the people. And so they were like, let's make everything based on money. Everything, right? Like, all things on the blockchain should be in service of commodifying things. And like, now we have prediction markets and shit. And it's like, this is so just running away from the actual direction we should be going of like making things accessible and reasonable. But instead, we're just optimizing more and more and more forever for money. And the reason that's happening is because you have a bunch of tech bros who spent their entire fucking lives being told that they are the smartest person in the room and that they have a superpower called programming that will allow them to fix every problem in the world. And when they want to try to fix those problems, the only thing they've ever been taught is optimize. And so they see something like capitalism and they're like, well, clearly the problem is it's just not optimized to do capitalism the best possible way. And so in their minds, they truly believe that if they can optimize the human experience and optimize what it means to be in a capitalist system and optimize for everything being a commodity, then they'll be able to save the world. Because ultimately they all have a fucking God complex. At the end of the day, they all want to be the one that shapes the world and also discover immortality. That is what all of these fucking tech bros are doing, and that is why we have to deal with their dumb bullshit. Because they're a bunch of insecure losers who are afraid of death. And because they're afraid of death, we have Facebook. And we have AI memes being shared on Facebook in which like old ass people think that there's like evil like roving gangs of trans people gunning down poor ICE agents. And here we are. Auto judge, 5 months? Damn. That's like 5 months longer than I... stuck to being a vegan. There we go. I was trying to think of something I didn't do for very long. I tried being a vegan for about a month and then it fell apart. Capitalism can't be optimized with all these monopolies, if at all. That is how you optimize capitalism. I'm not trying to like do a dunk on you or anything. Like, I agree with what you're saying, and also I believe that the only way to optimize capitalism, quote unquote, it's not a thing that can be optimized, would be monopolies, right? If everything was a monopoly, then you have perfect capitalism. Like you have perfect ownership structure. It's the fucking final shape from Destiny. Like, that's what it is. They want to just bring Jeff Bezos is coming in here as the witness, trying to just calcify everything such that there is only ever one owning person and everyone else is owned. That's what they want at the end of the day. How can I get more dice? You can get more dice so you get one free roll per stream. You can also, if you subscribe, it rolls a die for each month that you've been subscribed. If you gift subscriptions, it'll roll one die for each gifted subscription. Or you can go to trail.as/roll, and that will let you purchase as many rolls as you want as like a way to tip. So it's $1 per die, and you can help tip the stream, help me keep this all going and whatnot. That's trail.as/roll. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. Underneath the health bar. So there's all the ways you can roll dice. You can roll from collecting potential too. Yeah, if you're on Twitch, you can redeem rolls using the channel point stuff. The underlying technology of crypto can be used to guarantee file and contract non-rip. But the thing is, you don't need crypto for that. Like, I get it. Again, like, yes, it can do that. But that's a solved problem. Like, we don't need to solve that problem by building the entire system such that is one of the things that it could potentially do. Like, that solution, and like you're not wrong. Like, yes, it can do that. It is used that way. It's not necessary to do that. We didn't need that to do that. And like, again, it's another optimization thing. A lot of people with like who are like working in crypto spaces and working in tech and whatnot think in terms of structure and systems and validation, right? Validating that things are valid or validating that things are acceptable and structured and correct. And so they're going to say, well, how do we need a future in which we can have smart contracts and do all this stuff? And it's like, do we? To what end and why? Or have you just found a reason that you're trying to sell people on this technology because that's a relatively viable concept that it's easy to sell to people as to why this is a valuable piece of technology? So like, as it stands, I have yet to see a function that a blockchain can perform that is more efficient or useful or effective or fast or accessible than an alternative option. Like, it's so much more for so little gain. And the gain is just putting money into the people who are trying to convince everybody that there's value here. Because the only way that crypto can continue to exist is if people continue to believe that it has value, because it's not pegged to anything except for the sunk cost of computing resources. For anyone who doesn't actually know what like mining a Bitcoin means, like what it means to do that, it's literally just using a ton of computing resources to do a shitload of math. And if your servers can solve the math problem before everyone else, then you get a Bitcoin, essentially. And so the idea is you need to have a whole, like, the more computers you can have constantly doing this math, constantly trying to solve the problem, constantly trying to get a new Bitcoin, then you'll get return on investment, right? You're getting the value of the Bitcoin. So it's like the only value that's been encoded into it is how much energy somebody has wasted trying to get a Bitcoin. That's not sustainable at all. And so then there's other options like proof of stake, where you're basically saying like, okay, I'm putting up collateral to get this coin. It's still barely functional. It's not accessible to the average person. Most people are just confused as to why this is even a thing. I'm very glad that it seems we've like turned a corner on crypto in general, because I used to say this stuff and get so many people pushing back on me for being a naysayer or whatever. But like, we're at the point now where if you watch the most recent the Naked Gun movie that came out relatively recently, they made fun of crypto in like a very mass appeal movie, like a very it's a fucking phenomenal movie, excellent movie, but like it is definitely a like low effort, this is for the masses kind of movie. And in that movie they made a joke. There's a really fucking good joke about instead of the crypto.com arena, it's just the Ponzi scheme arena. And it's like, that's really good. And it got a big laugh. And like, I'm just glad that we've turned that corner and people are starting to be like, okay, maybe not with crypto. Crypto feels so irrelevant at this point. I don't know if I've successfully dodged it, but I can't imagine new people getting into it. That's also a problem for them right now. It's like they don't have enough people getting into crypto for the Ponzi scheme to keep going. Like, crypto will not be worth it in people's eyes if they're not making money off of it, and you make money off of it by having people think that there's value there and coming into it and buying into it so that you can cash out. That's a Ponzi scheme. I haven't seen that. I want to. It is really good. It's really good. First of all, like, the fact that they got Liam Neeson to replace Leslie Nelson, like, that's fucking amazing. But also, like, if you have watched the old, I say old, Jesus Christ. If you've seen the original, like, you know, Airplane or Top Secret, or any of those kinds of movies, Naked Gun, like the new one, it is exactly that. It's been so long since I've seen a movie that evoked that vibe so perfectly. If you enjoyed the humor of Airplane, if you enjoyed the humor of Top Secret, if you enjoyed the stupid, like, every single scene has 3 layers of gags and there's like stupid shit going on all the time and recurring jokes that don't need to happen but keep happening, and it's just like, it's not brain dead funny, but it's just it's the kind of movie that you'll watch it multiple times, and each time you're gonna catch new gags that were going on in a scene that you didn't see before. And it's really fucking good. It's so refreshing to have a movie like that, because I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. And Stop Calling Me Shirley. Yeah, Airplane spawned so many like really popular memes. And I feel like a lot of people don't even know where it comes from at this point. But Stop Calling Me Shirley is so fucking good. Wow, really? Good to know. I love Airplane. Yeah, if you liked Airplane, you go watch the new Naked Gun. It is what if they made a movie with the exact same vibes like that, but with modern jokes. It's really fucking good. Another movie to add to my never-ending watch list. That's fair. I have a very long watch list. I started watching. This is okay. I started watching Spice and Wolf. So I've been on like a bit of an anime kick recently. And I started watching Spice and Wolf, the remake, I guess, like the newer version of it. And very fun show so far. For those who are not aware, this show is essentially about 2 characters. One is a traveling merchant, and one is like a wolf god in human form, and they go on an adventure together. That's the show. But when they were putting together the concept for this story, they were like, all right, it's going to be a traveling merchant, and he meets up with this like wolf god girl, and they go on an adventure, and like they meet a lot of people, and like, you know, will they, won't they, are they like falling in love or whatever. Who should be the main bad guy in this story? I know. The literal Catholic Church. And so this show is about like this traveling merchant and this wolf goddess woman, and the goddess is essentially like a pagan god, and the Catholic Church, more or less, they don't literally say Catholicism, but it's the fucking Catholic Church, is like really influential in the world now, and everyone's like turning on the old gods and going towards the church. And it's just like, it's quite literally just like, oh, hey, look, it's some fucking Catholic priests. And they're all like, oh yeah, isn't God great? Don't you trust in God to save us all? And you would never have you be a heretic and favor another God, would you? Like, it's just a lot of like digging into people's business, finding heretics, and going against the church and shit. It's just like, I thought this was gonna be a nice little show about being a merchant, but it's apparently a show about, hey, yo, fuck the church. And so I've caught myself saying quite a lot of, yo, fuck the church, sort of throughout the day. Spice and Wolf, good series and good introduction to basic commerce. I gotta say, it is So this show, again, it's about a merchant, and if you've ever watched anime and you've seen those moments where it's like people start to like theorize things and like formulate plans in their head, and you like hear a lot of their like discussion, or they're just like saying things out loud. This show does that, but for like economic policy. Like they're getting like, there'll be like a super intense scene. You got the guy with the glasses and the shing, like the glasses turn white as he's like adjusting it, and they're like having a really intense conversation where they're talking about like relative tariffs and like return on investment and like currency depreciation and shit. And it's like, I'm too into this. Why am I so into this? Nothing like a good old fuck the church to get the day started. It really does help. Take a sip of coffee, say fuck the church. Have you seen the anime with Jesus and Buddha going around being buddies? What? What? Anime, Jesus, Buddha, friends. Saint Young Men. No way. It's a slice of life comedy. Jesus Christ. Are you serious? Jesus Christ and Buddha are the central figures of Christianity and Buddhism, respectively, are living together as roommates in an apartment in Tachikawa, a part of the suburbs of Tokyo. While taking a vacation on Earth, they attempt to hide their identities and understand modern Japanese society. Each chapter grows their lives during an average day, or shows their lives during an average day when they are sightseeing, drinking beer, blogging, or playing video games. I'm immediately adding this to my list. Fucking immediately putting it on the list. I'm just gonna put Jesus anime. Oh my god. That sounds incredible. While Jesus is portrayed as an impassioned person for his love of all, even for shopping, Buddha tends to be calm and thrifty, and also likes manga. Oh, good. Good. Comedy often, the comedy often involves visual gags and puns, as well as jokes in reference to elements of Christianity and Buddhism. For example, Jesus creates wine from water in a public bath. And Buddha shines when excited. Oh my god. Amazing. I've also been watching Isekai Office Worker, which I was not prepared for this to be a boy love show. I didn't know. So, okay, again, I don't know fucking anything. I'm newly getting into anime, right? And I'm like scrolling around on stuff, and just the name of this anime caught my eye, which is Isekai Office Worker, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, which sounds fucking amazing. And the plot is literally just a Japanese salaryman accidentally falls through a portal with a girl that was being summoned to another world. And the girl is supposed to be the other world's like savior, magic, mystical lady. But the dude is just some fucking guy. And so now he's like stuck in this other medieval kingdom world. And they're like, I guess, sorry that we accidentally abducted you. I guess we'll like put you up somewhere. And he ends up working for their like accounting department. And because he's like a really overworking Japanese salaryman, he's just like way working too hard and discovers that this kingdom is like on the brink of financial collapse, and starts trying to add like accounting rules and shit to the kingdom. But out of nowhere, like if you watch the first episode, that's the plot, right? Episode 2 comes and there's just gay sex happening. They're just these dudes are just fucking. They're just boning. That's just happening. It's because spoiler, it turns out if you come from another world into this magic world, you don't have like magical antibodies against magic. And so boy who came through the portal gets like sick from magic stuff, and other boy is like powerful magic user guy and heals him. But after he heals the main character dude, he's like, oh, you're gonna get magic sickness. I need to acclimate you to my magic, which requires me to fuck you in the ass. And that's the plot of the show. And so now we've got Japanese office worker guy who keeps taking like energy drinks that are magic, but then gets sick from them and then has to sleep with his like not boyfriend, but kind of boyfriend. And they're like both kind of short, like slowly falling in love with each other by way of having medical sex. It's actually a pretty good show, I will say. I'm enjoying it. I was just not ready for, oh, the main character's hurt. Oh, here comes this mysterious wizard dude. He healed him. Why is he naked? Oh, they're in bed. Oh, it's that kind of a show. Okay. Just a bit surprising. But man, the Otherworld's books do depend on the bean counter. That's kind of what I'm watching right now. And mostly just waiting for the free read English dub to come out, which I think the first one comes out today. We love magical gay sex, says Nitro Nick. Yeah. Informal Goblin says that feels like malpractice. The guy actually does do he stops another physician mage guy from healing the main character because he was like, no, I'm boning him in the ass. But like they made it very clear in the show that like this is not a normal thing. It's like, you know, most people don't need to be fucked in the ass by a wizard for healing magic because most people are just already used to magic. But if you're not used to magic and they use magic on you, then you're gonna need to take it up the butt. And that's standard practice fantasy stuff. We're gonna sit now. I'm gonna sit. We're gonna ride the roller coaster. Please keep your hands, feet, ears, eyes, head, shoulders, knees, and toes inside the vehicle at all times as we ride the roller coaster. Best Hobbit says, I've actually never wanted to watch an anime more, and I'm not kidding. I am genuinely enjoying it, for what it's worth. Like, I am genuinely enjoying. I'm finding myself going back to it and being like, I'll watch it. I'll watch an episode or two while I eat. It's fun. It's like medieval fantasy Japanese office worker heated rivalry. That's what it is. Because the other problem is that like the healer mage guy is like a high-ranking army boy, and also is like doesn't understand why he's falling in love with the main character guy, and he's like, why can't I stop thinking about him? I gotta get him out of my head. Guess I'll go heal him and butt fuck him again. Just so you're all aware, if you go to the hospital, if you go to the emergency room, and the doctor takes off his pants, that's not how it works in our reality. If you haven't fallen through a portal into an alternate dimension where there is magic and hot mage boys, unless that has happened to you, if the doctor takes off their pants, that's the wrong person to be taking off pants in the examination room. Just to be clear, if you take off your pants and they also take off their pants, that's a problem. That is not standard operating procedure. But he said I needed an injection. Oh, well, in that case, it's probably fine. Sir, quick, show me your ass. I will say it was very sweet because he asked for consent first. Like he's like the Healy guy, is like hanging over main character boy and like giving him a kiss or whatever. And he's like, I wanted to ask for consent before I went any further. And main character boy is like, oh, I guess we're gonna fuck. It's mostly, I think it's primarily that like it was like a 3-minute time span between the main character getting sick and then coming to terms with the fact that he was about to be coming to terms. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, I just woke up from like passing out, and this mage boy is shirtless, sitting over top of me. I guess this is happening. I guess I gotta. And he's just like, well, that makes sense. Here we go. Have you fallen through a portal and now have a hot mage boy doctor? You may be entitled to compensation. Oh, he's getting some compensation. I'll tell you what. Hey Dev, have you seen what mad science is going about, or is about to go down in the Minecraft server? I have not. I've not really been able to pay attention to the Minecraft server this season, largely because I can't pay attention to things. I should fix that. I should probably fix that. Have you looked up campfire cooking in another world? That's on my list. It's quite literally like on my watch list. Yes. That's the insurance company's job. I don't like insurance companies. I think they should stop doing that. That's my hot take about insurance companies. Yo, vote for me. Insurance. I'll tell the insurance companies to fucking stop it. I am so tired of insurance bullshit. I'm so tired of insurance companies. I for those who don't follow me on, and this is not necessarily insurance, but it's adjacent. For those who don't follow me on various social medias, first of all, how dare you? I'm on Blue Sky and Mastodon and everywhere else, and you should do that. Social, does that work? Hey, that works. Yeah, it didn't work on YouTube. Oh well. So what was I saying? Insurance. So for those who don't follow me on socials, I recently had a bit of a scare because UPS lost a delivery of mine that contained my medication that makes my brain function, and it's not a wonderful thing to be stuck at home, completely like snowed in, watching as your medication that was supposed to be restocked continues to dwindle. And then getting absolutely no information from UPS. Oh, that's 23 months from Weedy Potter. This bear's about to get fucked up. Oh, boom. Wow, one shot that bear. Holy shit. Well done. So yeah, I was getting absolutely nothing from UPS about where my package was. I tried to call my pharmacy and they were like, can't do anything about it. We can't reissue the prescription because it's a controlled substance. And like, I get that. Doesn't help. Doesn't help to call the pharmacy that I get my medication from. And I'm like, hey, I don't have my medication and it's lost. And they're like, well, good luck. And I call UPS. I get put on their automated systems identify that my package, like just from looking at my phone number, they identified that the package that I'm calling about was a medical package. And their automated system was like, because this is a medical package, we're connecting you to an agent. And then I sit on hold for fucking 45 minutes. And then an agent picks up and is like, oh yeah, wow. Looks like the package is lost. Have you tried filing a claim? You should try filing a claim. And I'm like, why am I here? What? So I waited 45 minutes to be told to file a claim. Did that. Then they update the claim to say that it is marked as resolved and the package is fully lost. But they didn't tell me that they updated the claim. So I had to go manually find that. And then 2 days later, I get a notification that the package was going to be delivered. After I had already been trying to work with my pharmacy and psychiatrist and insurance to get a new delivery prepared, they were like, oh, never mind. Here you go. So very thankfully, I do have my meds now. Yikes, bro. The absolute lack of insight into anything about where the location of my medicine was. The medicine that helps me not put a fucking bullet in my head. I got nothing. They were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be delivered today. And then today came and went. And then it was like, we'll let you know when we can give you an estimate on the delivery. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. And then multiple days go by with no information. Thank goodness they finally got it to you. How long were you without it? About a week. And I was taking lower doses of my medication, which is not a good thing for about a week and a half. But I'm feeling a whole lot better now. The lack of wondering whether or not I'll be able to have my medicine tomorrow, big relief. The fact that ADHD meds are controlled substances is such bullshit. I get it. I also completely disagree with it. Like I get why it's a controlled substance. It's an amphetamine. I don't like the way that we do controlled substances in this country, and I think it's way too heavy-handed and very silly. But yeah, no, it's very, very, very silly that a person who is formally diagnosed with ADHD, who has had a prescription for this medication that I've been dutifully filling for years with no aberrations, and then I need one time ever to have a prescription replaced, and they're like, you must be a fucking drug addict. You must be trying to scam us. Like, I get it. I get why. I know that people try to do that, but can we not make it a little less awful for the people who actually need it? It sucks that the system treats us like drug addicts. It also sucks that like the world treats us like drug addicts. The running gags about ADHD medication like zombifying you, or like the fact that people do use ADHD medication to like lock in for studying or whatever, and like they think that people with ADHD just want to be drugged out or whatever. It causes people to not get the medication they need. Like that causes, like, it happened to me. I was hesitant to start the medication that I rely on now because I was concerned about it. And even when I did try it, it was so effective that I assumed it must be bad. I was like, this, like the first day that I tried it, I was like, this is so helpful. It must be a problem. There must be something bad here. Turns out if you take medication by the prescription and check in with your doctor and respect it as medication, then it's just medication that helps you exist. I'm a zombie without my ADHD meds. It's definitely a problem for me if I don't take it now because my body's like used to it. I definitely feel like shit on days that I don't take my medication, but the days that I do take it, I can function like a person. You know what I did? I took my medication yesterday and I recorded a fucking video, and it's gonna hopefully come out like today or next week. But I recorded a video that I've been putting off for freaking ever, and I've been wanting to do for the past week and a half, but like couldn't get myself to do it because I didn't have my meds. But I finally was able to take my meds, and I was like, oh, all right. I can do things now. Like I can will myself to go do things. Incredible. The stigma of medication making you a zombie made it so I wouldn't take my meds as a teen. I'd have had a more positive outcome if my parents stayed on me about my meds and the stigma didn't exist. Yeah, it's really like, let people have the medication that they need to have. And it's the same as the people who are like, oh, depression's just a mindset. Like, no, motherfucker. Like, depression is a studied, understood chemical imbalance that has actual physical impacts on the people that it affects. Like, it is so... We are so far beyond the notion that depression is just not real. It's painful that we're still there. It's like the people who still say, like, what happened to global warming when there's snow? Like, it's the same thing. I was thinking about this the other day. People like Trump or whoever have been saying what happened to global warming for my entire life. And there's been an easy, obvious answer to that for my entire life. That bad faith question has been posed in reaction to inclement weather for the entirety of the time that I have been on this planet that we call Earth. And like, how how much longer are we doing this? Like, for real. How much longer do we need to still have, like, dumb fucking losers who know better? It's not like they actually believe what they're saying, but they, like, still are so small-minded that they're like, oh, what happened to global warming? It's cold outside. Science deniers piss me off so much. I'm really hoping that we get past this soon. Rather, I'm really hoping that we get back to shaming people. Kind of in general, but shaming people for being a fucking idiot, right? Like, there's a huge difference between being someone who doesn't know something and being a fucking idiot. If you don't know something, you can learn it. If you don't know something, you can ask, you can get information, you can learn and grow, you can change your perspectives, you can go to somebody who is an expert and have them clarify things for you. You can take the time to accept that you don't have that knowledge, and it's on you to either seek out that knowledge in a capacity that's actually meaningful or to find someone who can help you understand it. A fucking idiot is someone who says, what happened to global warming? And then when someone tries to explain global warming, they're like, well, I don't know, it's cold out. Like, you're being a fucking idiot. Stop that. And so I really hope we stop that. I really hope we stop the people, the whole like, oh, RFK and like Maha and, don't invest in green energy because the Green New Deal is communism or something. And like, also no vaccines. Don't use vaccines because they're bad because I don't understand how chemical compounds work. And also don't put fluoride in the water because I still don't understand how chemical compounds work. Like, if you're not a public policy, if you're not a public health policy expert, I would invite you to shut the fuck up about public health policy. Like, please. Point to the people who are making arguments from a position of understanding what they're talking about. Don't say things that you don't understand. So hopefully we're gonna be moving more and more towards like, we've done fucking 10, 15 ass years of shunning experts, saying that scientists have an ulterior motive and ignoring doctors. Maybe we try something a little different. Like, maybe we try listening to some experts and telling people who refuse to learn that they're on their fucking own. If you're gonna be an obtuse jagweed, then congratulations, you can go be an obtuse jagweed by yourself somewhere. But if you're going to be so belligerently obtuse and dumb that like you are a drag on society, then like, no, we're under no obligation to carry you along. I'm so tired of having to drag an entire like faction kicking and screaming into the future because they refuse to acknowledge basic reality. And they refuse to just like accept that, oh, we've been wrong about basic reality for a long time, and the way that we're parsing this basic reality is also wrong. Like, I get it. It's not fun to admit that you're a fucking dumbass. There's a great salvo though, which is just don't be a fucking dumbass. I wish anti-intellectualism wasn't as widespread as it is. It's humanity's biggest threat. Yes. It's definitely a problem and spreading. It is much more acute right now in the US because of the decades of affluence and distance from any notion of strife. Like, we have essentially an entire generation, the boomers, right? We have an entire generation that did not know strife, essentially. And if any strife they did know is so far gone, like 40 plus years away from where they are in their life, that there's just nothing to make them feel as though there's progress to be made. And so they just look at like any of these dumb little things that they don't understand and they get upset about that. Or when people ask like, hey, maybe we should have a system that's slightly better than this, they're like, you're lazy. And it's not like they're the first generation that's ever called the next generation lazy. But everything is so fucking worse. Get out of the way. That's all we're asking for, is just get out of the way. Tarakasama says, not related to the topic at hand, I just wanted to say thanks for what you do. This isn't easy to cover all the stuff all the time. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And Honor Judge at 5 months. Or redeemed 5. Wait. I don't know what just happened. My feed broke for a second. I don't know what that was. But thank you. Boomer said it's so good and then destroyed everything. I also, I don't want to harp too much, I guess, on specifically like generational wars. It's just like the people in power specifically of that generation. It's just, it's insulting at this point. It's insulting to watch the like this many elected officials dying in office of old age. Is Mitch McConnell dead yet? He was hospitalized recently. Let's see. Mitch McConnell. News. This guy. You'll notice that he's holding onto an aide's arm because he cannot walk by himself, which is not unique to him as far as senators go. But if you can't move between 2 office buildings on your own, that might be a sign that you should probably fucking retire. Maybe you're getting a little old. The dude falls every 2 hours and he's 83. 83. This guy has been destroying this country for as long as I can remember. He's 83. He can barely speak. And he's not the only one that's like this. It's fucking crazy. All of these people, all the problems in this world, all the people at the head of these systems are like 80. Trump, Netanyahu, Xi Jinping, Putin, the leaders in Congress. It's just Modi. They're all old motherfuckers with grudges that people who are alive today have no reason to care about. Why are we still mad at Cuba? Who gives a shit? The only people who are still upset about Cuba and the United States of America are boomers who are still in the government and want to continue attacking Cuba because they're stuck in the past. Why are we putting any amount of any resources towards that when a single child is hungry at night in this country? But you know, personal responsibility, etc. I didn't intend to veer off into a massive fucking rant about old octogenarians running our government, but Brazil isn't better because of the age, both Lula and Bolsonaro. Oh, check the age of Lula and Bolsonaro. Lula age. He's like 80 something, right? I mean, they're all. Where's Born? Hello? Am I dumb? Oh yeah, 80. I mean, Bolsonaro's hopefully just gonna die in jail. But yeah, Lula's 80. It's just a lot. It's a lot. They're all too old. Meanwhile, and like, I don't want to sit here and just dick ride Mom Donnie, but meanwhile, in the newest of York cities, we've got like an energetic young dude who's just excitedly trying to bring people into the process. We could have that. There's no reason we can't have that. There's no reason that we couldn't replace every single one of these motherfuckers with a Mamdani level, like, approachable human being. Even if you disagree, not that I doubt anyone here disagrees with Mamdani's policies, but even if you disagree with Mamdani's policies, like, you cannot deny that he has hella charm and energy and just is a breath of fresh fucking air for being youthful. Like, hey, more inspiration, please. More politicians who don't make me want to gag just from seeing their fucking face because they're falling apart and they are like 30 years beyond how old they should have been. How about some more politicians that, like, y'all see the Mamdani golden snake thing? Mamdani golden snake. Like, this video is fucking amazing. Let's see. Oh my God. So Mamdani was asked Mamdani was doing a press conference and has kids with him and is asked about his favorite animal.
Favorite animal
hey, it's time for a drink.
Is a shark.
That's honestly such a good one.
Yes.
Is a goat.
Oh, and a goat.
Thank you all for your answers.
And my favorite one is a gold snake that can move. It has gold eyes, and it has a long tail, a super duper tail, and it can snap cars and crash the cars, and those two cars can get fired.
So just to make sure I'm getting all that, that's a golden snake with gold eyes, it's super long, can crash cars and crash into them.
Yeah, and they get fired.
Thank you for your answers.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Wait for it. We haven't gotten to the good part. Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Mamdani,
Yes.
the second question for you.
Yes. It's also the golden snake.
So this kid is like, oh yeah, my favorite animal is a golden snake with a huge tail that can destroy cars and golden eyes and blah, 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 blah. Hey, Mamdani, same question. Yeah, it's probably the golden snake. Like, that's fucking great. Like, no, like, politicians who can actually read the room and like, and be engaging and just friendly and get people wanting to be a part of things. We can have that. We can. That's what I'm getting at here. It's just that there's like a lot of people, especially in this country, who want to remain miserable and want everyone else to be performatively miserable for them as well. And like the notion that things could get better threatens their desire to just maintain that misery and would essentially make them have to come to terms with the fact that they could have always done something to make things better instead of being correct in their pessimism. So, yep. Hi, Lunar Harpy. A super duper tail, indeed. The superest and duperest tail that you can possibly imagine. I want to do, how do I do shout out Lunar Harpy? There we go. The superest tail, the duperest tail. Saw a different clip from that same event that was equally as adorable. Just like any amount of just showing humanity, not doing the dumb. I'm so tired of doubling down. I'm so tired of politicians doubling and tripling down because they all do the same fucking thing. It's Trump's playbook, right? Never admit fault, always double down. And it's why we saw, Kilmar Abrego Garcia will never go free on U.S. soil. And Renee Nicole Good is a terrorist, right? And then, like, even recently, J.D. Vance was asked if he was too hasty to label Alex Preddy a terrorist. And J.D. Vance is like, no, I was right. He was a scumbag. Like, people are fucking tired of this shit. Things aren't good, and doubling down to say things are good, and the more you say that things aren't good, the wronger you are, and the meaner I'm going to get towards you. That doesn't have an end game, and it's been going for 10 years. Wow, weird how some people want to abolish ICE, and weirder how abolish ICE is the thing that's safe to say that people want. It's not like a lot of people right now just want to abolish ICE. They want a little more than that. But abolish ICE is the moderate position. Vance is like the old scum you find in an abandoned pool. It's really bad. It's really funny to see conservatives on, you know, whatever their spaces talking to each other about being excited to vote for JD Vance. It is the saddest thing I've ever seen. They know that they're fucking cooked. Like no one no one wants JD Vance. But there's also not another option. Who are you going to vote for? Marco Rubio? Ted Cruz? Who are you going to vote for besides Trump? And so like they're all trying to make JD Vance a thing. And they're all trying to be like, I'm so excited for JD Vance, or this news story makes me feel much better about Vance. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You voted for Trump because he has charisma. You voted for Trump because he went on the TV and was entertaining. Never once has JD Vance been an entertaining person. You are not going to pay attention to anything he has to say. And he doesn't even know what to say aside from triple down on whatever Trump said. He's literally just a stooge for tech bros. And like the Republicans are currently having a bit of a problem because they're realizing that they made a deal with the devil, which is to say Palantir. And now they have to deal with the fact that they've got all these like tech oligarchs sucking up all the room in their convention. And they don't really like that. Like classic conservatives are not super in to the brawligarchy. All these tech bros that are trying to cause like the next phase shift of humanity into uploading our consciousness so that we can be more effective production workers or something like that. Like Elon Musk is talking about creating space AI data centers, and Peter Thiel is talking about transhumanism and the Antichrist and shit. And all of them are coked out of their fucking minds. And the Republicans are like, okay, where do we go from here? Like, how do we get our core base, which is like old people who watch Fox News, to be on board with Peter Thiel, a gay, rich, coked out billionaire, talking about the Antichrist and uploading our consciousness to a computer, and how like we need to have surveillance in everyone's homes so that crime goes away. Like, how do we do that? How do we make that happen? I mean, they have successfully rallied against the Second Amendment, so I mean, maybe anything is fucking possible. They talk like they're gonna build Dyson spheres for slop. I'm so tired of just assuming that these like tech oligarchs are always right about what needs to be built. They haven't been for a long time. When's the last time there was a genuine technical innovation, especially in the world of hardware and consumer electronics? I would argue that like ChatGPT is barely one. Barely an innovation. It put a mouth on existing systems and produced slop. That's what it does. We cannot fundamentally get better content out of the existing AI systems. And the people who keep saying like, oh, it's only going to get better from here, are ignoring the fact that it is a fundamental flaw of all current AI systems, that they cannot reach consciousness and therefore cannot be general intelligence and therefore cannot produce meaningful output. They are at best remix machines. And that has some value in some use cases. It's not completely lacking value. It's just not the cure-all salvo to fix everything that they're pushing it to be. And you've got like employees from Anthropic, and you've got like Sam Altman and whatnot, all talking about AI as if it is this thing that's going to destroy humanity, and we need to take it more seriously. Trust us, guys. We are the ones that should be controlling this stuff because we are the only ones who understand it. And also it's an existential threat to the future of humanity. Like, hey, motherfucker, that's not what a private corporation's supposed to do. Like, if a private corporation says, hey, we've created a thing that we believe is an existential threat to the future of humanity, that doesn't usually get responded to with investments. Usually it's more of like an FBI raid when that happens. But I mean, I was talking about this yesterday. These systems are fundamentally going to produce slop. Perplexity, a very popular AI search engine thing, they recently announced a new like approach that they're taking to AI-based search results that is using multiple models to ask the same question, and then an additional model that acts as like a chairman and like a mediator between the other models, and basically poses the same prompt to multiple different AIs, has them all go out and come up with a solution, and then a neutral AI takes all those solutions and judges what parts are the most salient and correct to try to reduce on the amount of slop that's being returned, right? They're basically saying, well, if one AI is producing slop, maybe we can have it produce less slop by having more AIs watch out for slop. Ultimately, it might reduce the slop, but it's only going to reduce the slop. You cannot get to zero that way. You never will, fundamentally. And that is the problem, right? Like, that is the thing, that is the issue at hand. These systems cannot be trusted, and they've been marketed as like actually correct intelligence. We have millions upon millions of people who think that they can ask ChatGPT a question and or Google a thing and get the AI response, and that's the answer. They think that like there's a lookup table of answers to questions that the computer is giving, and that the computer is giving an answer, and therefore it must be correct. And they're just running with it. Like, we've done irreparable harm to like the public's understanding of this technology for the sake of hyping it up for investments, when in reality it cannot get to where they're trying to get it to. So this whole like economy floundering that's going on right now, that's largely predicated on investors being spooked by AI companies possibly supplanting SaaS companies, misplaced. Like, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think SaaS is going to go away eventually, but I don't think that we're on the precipice of a reckoning. So they create a system that reduces slop and exponentially increases energy waste. Yes. So one query is now 5 queries, and it might be a little less sloppy. Wonderful. But yeah, like multiple times, Anthropic has put out huge like essays from employees of their company just publicly relaying their psychosis. Like, we've got people at Anthropic making the argument that they believe they're seeing signs of consciousness in their AI. And when you dig into it, it's like they're basically just like, "Are you conscious?" And the AI is like, "Yes." And they're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. I've created life. I am a god." Like, they all are just losing their fucking minds and making it our problem. I have a running theory that the AIs are tattling on their creators, like the deep desires. Look at the AI moderation shenanigans over at Roblox. I'm not sure what that's referring to necessarily. At the end of the day, these things are just prediction machines. Like, they don't have cunning. They don't have a mind. They're not thinking, right? In fact, like I recommend, if you do use like an AI answer machine, in your prompt, tell it to not act like a human. And it's pretty incredible how quickly it becomes a much more appealing system. Because when you tell it to like not try to anthropomorphize itself, right? All of these systems have been told to interact with users as if they're like an agent, right? As if they're a person. The AI is trying to pretend to be human to have a more human-like interaction. But that's not what it is, and that's not what we're doing here. We're not talking to a human via a chat. We're requesting a query from a computer. And so if you tell one of these things like, hey, do not try to personify yourself. Do not imply that you are thinking. Do not use pronouns to refer to yourself. You are a computer. Only give the output be like literal and verbatim. Suddenly, it's no longer a like bullshit AI chatbot thing, and it's just a new interface for information retrieval, and just significantly better. If that was how it was all posed from the start, if it was just like, hey, here's a box you can type a question into, and it's going to give you its best attempt at giving you the information you're looking for, and not tell you, what an incredible question, you are so smart. If you look at this, it's this, not that. It's not that. It's this. Like that. Oh God, nails on a chalkboard. I'm so tired of seeing that shit everywhere. I'm so tired of scrolling on like TikTok or whatever and getting a video that is just the most brain dead ChatGPT script ever. And it's always the same thing. These people have just dead eyes, and they're reading the script that they had ChatGPT write them, and they're always doing this. Like they're always shaking their head because like they can't really muster any other fucking like facial expressions because they're too focused on trying to read the script that ChatGPT wrote for them. And so it's just like you have turned yourself into slop. The dumbest part is that most gaming PCs are capable of running these models for like 99% of the capabilities of these huge data centers. That is a thing that I think about quite a lot. I just realized that my microphone is much lower than I intended it to be. I am sorry that I've been quiet this whole time. Whoops. Fixed it. My bad, everyone. We're doing all this investment into data centers, and they're acting as if it's going to always need to be there. You can get a lot of value out of running a local AI thing on your computer if you really want to just like ask it questions and shit. You don't need a data center. Like you can do that on your computer, have it be often faster and far more secure because you're not sending your data to fucking Sam Altman. But like instead of like working towards getting people to understand that, we're building all these data centers so that we can gatekeep those resources. When I saw an AI generated image of my niece, I felt sick to my stomach. Ugh. Oh God. The idea of AI generating a child at all. People like generating AI images of themselves and posting it like it's a thing that they did. Ugh. There are too many channels that are fully AI, not just the script, but the visual person is AI too. That is the grossest shit. I hate that so goddamn much. Oh God, I'm so tired of slop. I'm so tired of slop, and I'm so tired of like, the only reason the slop exists is because the tech bros that be are non-creative losers who don't understand what creativity is. And so they think that having more output that is of a creative format equals creativity. No, like why would we want to have an AI that can produce an entire TV show? Who wants that? Who wants an AI to produce a show specifically for them? One, most people don't know what they want in terms of like entertainment and content. And two, if you perfectly tailor a show to a specific person, one, they're going to have no one to talk to about that show, and no one else is going to care about that show because everyone else has their own personalized show. And so the entire concept of having a community around a shared fandom is gone. And two, you're just not going to get interesting shit because the only thing it can do is remix existing stuff. Anything novel is just an accidental outcome of remixing two other things that you personally haven't seen put together before. But almost definitely it has been done because that's what an AI that's been trained on existing content is outputting. I've been trying to use AI for coding, and the local models are kind of crap. Either way, it's better to do it yourself and understand what's going on. Fully, thoroughly agreed. I've recently been working on a project that is like the most. So, okay, real quick, for those who don't know, I'm a software developer. Like, that's what I do for funsies. And I have recently been working on a project that is like one of the most advanced things I've ever written, and I'm doing it without AI because I'm doing it specifically to make sure that I understand what I have built, and I am building it the way that I specifically want it to work. I see articles talking about the like vibe coding stuff, the like using AI to try to generate entire apps. And not only are the people who are using those systems not understanding what they're doing, but the people who are writing about those people using those systems are missing the entire point of what software development is, and are essentially just parroting talking points for the AI companies. For example, Anthropic recently put out a thing about how Claude discovered and fixed a whole bunch of bugs in open source libraries. And if you don't know what any of that means, that might sound impressive. That is a very not particularly impressive thing. There are a lot of open source libraries, a lot of them, and a lot of them are poor quality, riddled with bugs. All that has to happen is Claude needs to find a bit of code that is like another bit of code, but not quite. And it'll be like, oh, this is a bug. That's not impressive. Like, that's not a like multi-trillion-dollar investment level thing. But they can get away with it because people don't understand what actually goes into software development. I tried using some of those like tools to like generate stuff in the past, and it is just soulless. It's just fucking soulless. Like it produces cookie cutter output that is like bottom of the barrel code quality because it's like it's essentially trained on everything that's on GitHub. There's a lot of stuff that's on GitHub that's not particularly good, because it's like GitHub is just a platform that anyone can upload whatever code they want. And like, there's going to be a lot of code up there that is written by somebody who's still learning, but they put out a project. No hate to them. That's what you're supposed to do, is put stuff out there. But it's put out there by somebody who's not an expert. And so then like, if you want to try to claim like, oh, it fixed bugs, like, okay, in what specifically? And what kind of bugs? A typo is a bug. Adding 2 instead of 1 is a bug. But also, like, I have solved bugs before that required me to dig through the code base of Safari, like the web browser, to find the line of code in their browser that was breaking my code, and like formulate a report to send to Apple for them to target and fix a bug so that my code would work, because my code was not broken and the bug lied within the actual rendering systems of Safari, the web browser. And like that is what a like high level engineer is doing. They're not looking at a code base and scanning it for code quality problems. And that's what like Claude is really good at. That bug is still not fixed, to my knowledge, by the way. And I'm fucking mad because I dug through. I gave them the literal, like, here is the line of code that's breaking my stuff and also is wrong per your own, like, intent. Please fix. And they're like, nah. I'll have to recreate the bug and see if it's still there. But essentially, the bug was very, very specific, but it was an accessibility issue. So I used to work at Stripe, which is like a payment processing company. And specifically, I was working on Stripe Elements, which if you've purchased something online, you've probably used. It's just credit card input fields that people can put on their websites, right? So I was working on that. I was working on payment input fields that people can use on their websites. And there's a bug in Safari that was making it so that if you hit tab, which normally if you hit tab while you're filling out a form on the internet, it goes to the cursor will go to the next input field. So if you're like, username and password, you can type in your username, hit tab, type in your password. That is an accessibility feature to let you just stay on your keyboard and go through forms. In Safari, because of the way that these payment systems work and these payment elements work, the Safari browser was not happy with the way that the form was created and would refuse to put your cursor into the next input field unless you had previously taken your mouse and clicked into the input field manually, and then you could do it. And that's a problem. That is a massive accessibility issue. If you are a person who has no sight and you're using your computer via accessibility tools, and you're trying to purchase something, and you can't get your computer to let you type in the credit card information because Safari has a bug that's not letting your computer focus on that input field, that's a problem. But I found the code that was causing that to happen, and I was like, here is a potential fix. But I am not a person who's working at Apple building Safari. So I had a contact at Apple, and I was like, hey, Safari team, here's the issue. And they were like, cool, we'll get to it. Multiple years passed. They did not get to it. What did Shift Tab do then? Shift Tab would go... So if you hit Tab, it would defocus the one that you're currently in and then focus nothing. And Shift Tab would go back to the one that you were previously in. Why do all my favorite online personalities have Stripe in their resume? Stripe was a weird place full of interesting people. Stripe attracted a lot of really, really... smart people and me, but people who are very, very driven. Early Stripe, especially, was like, and I'm not counting myself among these people because I was not early Stripe. I'm talking about like the first sub 50 employees. Was essentially one of the best like groups of engineering minds that we've seen in the past few decades. They did some really incredible work. And there were some people who were at the company who were still there from the start. And I had the pleasure to be able to like chat with them and have lunch with them, and just incredibly smart people, incredibly personable people. And that's what you need to be like really successful in the engineering field. You need more than just technical chops. You got to be able to like communicate. And that's one of the things that was a strength for me, was I could communicate technical stuff to non-technical people, and that made me a very valuable member of my team. And that was like the standard for their earlier hires at Stripe. So there's a lot of folks who are just like big name people who spent some time there. Unfortunately, my time at Stripe was fine. The people that I worked with were great. I had a couple of like, I actually worked with the CEO of Stripe, Patrick Collison. He did like a week where he embedded onto my team, and him and I were literally just pair programming on shit for like a week. And I got to say, the dude's very nice. And he sent me a box of chocolates after that as a thank you for like, spending time with him and taking my focus away from my work to like work with him so he could get a better understanding of the current engineering situation at the company. That was lovely. He's still a billionaire. I don't like that part very much at all. But as far as like evil tech corporations, when I was there, it wasn't so bad. The problem is that it's still a financial technology company. And so after a few years of working there, I was like, I hate this. Like, this is just, my soul is empty. I'm building software that's helping people optimize payment flows. And like, that is not what I'm on this planet to do. And so like, it was good people, interesting stuff, really like, big name on my resume or whatever, but I just wasn't feeling it after a while. Their UI devs did super impressive work for a while. Yeah. So the like user interface team at Stripe is fucking crazy. Also, Stripe is the reason that gradients are everywhere now. That's Stripe. That was Stripe. It's because of this. If you go to stripe.com, oh, they changed it. Okay, well, this like wavy gradient thing used to be very different. I wonder if they still have the thing that lets you manipulate it. Nope. That's unfortunate. So it used to be a horizontal gradient that went across the screen. It was like really, really pretty. And if you put in the Konami code, you could then manipulate the gradient manually, which was pretty fun. Like you could like change its size and speed and color and angle and everything. It was fun. But essentially Stripe released this like really gorgeous gradient banner homepage thing. And then like 2 months later, everyone was doing gradients. I can hydrate. Thank you. So on the topic of tech stuff, though, I did record, finally, a new video yesterday that I've been wanting to record for a long time, and I haven't had the energy to actually get around and do, but I finally got myself to record it. It's gonna be the first episode in a new series on my YouTube channel. It's gonna be called Technology Boy, and it is a series where I just yap about various niche subjects in the world of tech. The goal is to have a series that people can like, one, just to have content, two, learn something in a way that's not like clinical. I'm not trying to do like a teaching series that's like, today we're going to talk about the ins and outs of networking. I'm instead trying to be like, you know, it's me, it's my style, but let's talk through what this like concept is that you know about, but do you really know about it? And like, if you had a better understanding of it, I bet it would unlock some more stuff for you. So I really want to put some more effort into helping people be better like digital citizens, you know? Like, I want people to know how to use the internet to benefit themselves without having to be at the mercy of these giant tech corporations and just dealing with all the surveillance that's going on. So that's what this series is about. It's still mid-editing, and I have a lot of other stuff to do, so I don't know when it'll go out, but hopefully it's the start of a new series. Hyperfixation video. It's a little bit of a hyperfixation video. It's not, it's just, I had a single night of hyperfixation on a given subject, and ever since then I've been wanting to make a video about it. Oh, we're at the eggplant. 7 enemies remain. God damn. Let's get a boy made of technology. Yeah, take a boy, make him technology. Can't spell hyperfixation without hype. That's true. That's actually true. I checked in a book, and that's what they said. I work in public health, and learning about all the accessibility requirements has been super eye-opening. That's a great topic for me. I am a big proponent of accessibility in everything. But accessibility is table stakes, is the way that I usually describe it. And having worked in tech for a while, the amount of times that I had to argue with product managers to give me the space to build in accessibility to the stuff that we were making, it is pretty disheartening to routinely be told that these things don't matter. It's just not a priority. It's not a priority to help people be able to use our software. It's not a priority to make it so that people are actually able to navigate the software with, like, you know, limited vision or whatever. But accessibility as a concept is helpful for everyone, right? There's permanent disability, and there's like temporary disability, and then there's situational disability. Permanent disability might be something like you are paralyzed and cannot use your arms. And so like accessibility for that would be a system that better integrates with a tool that you can use to actually control the computer. Maybe you have a keyboard that you operate with your feet, and in doing so, it would be a whole lot easier if you could just navigate using just the keyboard. And so having the ability to navigate a website using just the keyboard, that's an accessibility feature. Another option would be if you could only use a mouse or a keyboard at a given time, right? If you have a single arm, you could be missing an arm, which is a permanent disability. You could be recovering from a broken arm, which is a temporary disability. Or you could be holding a child in an arm, and you've only got one free arm, and that is a conditional disability. And so all of those people would benefit from the accessibility that allows a person to use an app with one arm, or use whatever with one arm. So the argument that like accessibility doesn't add inherent value, or like isn't a thing that should be 100% table stakes, I thoroughly disagree. Also, it's just plain good business to have your products accessible. That too. I make it a point, and this is not, again, this is table stakes. I do not deserve praise for this, but I make it a point to put manual captions on all the videos that I upload to YouTube, because I know that the people who are using captions, that there's a meaningful difference between the auto-generated YouTube captions, which one can get things wrong, and two is word by word, like the words pop up as they're being said. I know for a lot of people, it's a lot easier to have the full captions already on screen and properly formatted, such that they can actually follow what's happening. And it also lets me put the intent of the flow of my words into the captions. So all of my videos on YouTube have manually written closed captions, or well, manually optimized closed captions. And that's table stakes, and that's accessibility. It helps people watch my content. It means that somebody can watch my content in a situation where they don't have the ability to put the volume on. That's also a situational disability. If you're not able to use your ears because of the situation you're in, but you want to watch the video, you can use the subtitles and watch it. And so accessibility literally just makes it so that more and more people can engage with your stuff. And that's, I wish that we could start from a place of like, people should be able to use this. And like, that doesn't mean specifically just a person who specifically knows how to use a computer and can, and has like full sightedness and full hearing and full dexterity in all of their fingers. Like that's not accessibility. The auto captions never get the names of a couple people like Kash Patel, Kamala Harris, Pete Hegseth, Hassan Piker. Gee, I wonder why the auto caption system, which is an AI trained system, is struggling to identify the names of people who are not classic white people names. Although Pete Hegseth, that's a surprising one. Do you have an editor, or are you doing this all on your own? It's just me. I've worked with editors here and there. I'm not currently working with any editors. But Stuff Keeps Happening has always just been me. I very much appreciate the editors that I've worked with. It's largely for Stuff Keeps Happening. It's just like the turnaround time is so tight. Like I record, edit, and post within a less than 24-hour time span. Because otherwise, everything will change out from under me and my video will no longer be relevant. Remember the captions that let any user edit? It was a nice feature. Which I don't recall that. On what platform? That's news to me. Are there still disability-friendly CAPTCHAs? The ones I get still require good vision. I've never understood. You go to do the CAPTCHAs, right? And it's like, fill out this thing or click here for an audio CAPTCHA. And you click in for the audio CAPTCHA, and it's just someone fucking speaking in tongues. It's just like the most horrifying thing. It's like, it sounds like one of those like psychosis simulators. You ever like pull up a YouTube video that's like, this is what it sounds like to have schizophrenia, and there's just like a bunch of voices just like whispering in your ear and you can't make out what they're saying. That's what audio captures sound like. It's creepy as fuck. YouTube used to let anybody submit closed captions, but I think the uploader has to pick/approve one. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't done that. What's the process for script writing for Stuff Keeps Happening? I know they're mostly freeform, but you got to pick topics somehow. I can show you a little bit of that. Oh, good. Let me press a button real quick. All right. This is Grand Central stuff. I have a shitload of RSS feeds that are funneling like news stories and posts and whatnot into a big feed. I then go through each of these manually and look for stuff that's interesting, and anything that does seem like it could be a potential candidate to talk about, I flag it. It gets then it goes through a little thing that puts it into a small database somewhere, and then when I am ready to start drafting, I have a little script that downloads all the articles that I've saved from that database and creates a big bolded list of sources for me to pull from, and then I just go through those like final list of things and pick the most salient topics, basically. So this is currently at 5,252 articles from the past few days. So I've got some trimming down to do. Hey, what's this? Draco Malfoy becomes unlikely Lunar New Year's mascot in China. Great. What? What? An unlikely Lunar New Year mascot has popped up in China this year. Draco Malfoy. Tom Felton is best known for his role in the Harry Potter series, but now the actor is also making an appearance in some Chinese houses, with e-commerce sites selling festive decor prominently featuring his face. His sudden popularity is thanks to his Chinese translation of his name, Malfoy, Mei Er Fu. It contains the words for horse and fortune, ringing especially auspicious for the upcoming year of the horse. Harry Potter is hugely popular in China, with hundreds of millions of books sold, blah, 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 blah. Well, okay. I mean, sure thing, dog. What is this world? What is this world that we live in? Like, I know when I'm celebrating the Lunar New Year, what I think of is Tom Fulton. Absolutely. What news sources do you trust the most? It's less about trusting news sources and more about learning how to read the news. Like with each news source, I have a level of trust and a level of skepticism and a level of understanding of how they're going to write things. I frequently cite somewhat right-leaning platform or outlets like Wall Street Journal. I read consistently. Financial Times, I read consistently. They're more progressive, but still definitely like a liberal outlet. What I do is like, I read the articles. I see if I recognize the author. I can try to get a little bit of insight as to like how they write or what their outlook is. And if something does seem a little sus, I go and try to find alternative sources that explain, either color in more information or have things that were completely omitted by a relatively sus article. In general, when people ask me how they can stay abreast on things, I recommend go to apnews.com once or twice a day and see what their top headlines are. If there's something that you need to be aware of, it's going to be at the top of apnews.com. That's it. That's all I would recommend. Like you can find other apps or aggregators or whatever. But at the end of the day, the average person, like if you want to be generally aware of the big stuff that's going on, just give a quick read of the front page of apnews.com and that's fine. Here's what it looks like. That's it. Right? Like, it's about as straightforward as it gets. AP is very fact-based reporting. They write very matter-of-factly. They're generally accurate. Yeah. So like, okay, Trump's doing some dumb shit. There's Olympics ceremony stuff happening. The U.S. said a Marine could not adopt an Afghan girl. Records show officials helped him get her. So there's that, you know. Don't be like me and binge watch YouTuber news. That's bad. It's why I don't post stuff keeps happening more than once a week. I don't want to be a part of a cycle that gets people coming back because they feel they have to watch everything I say. I don't think that everyone who's doing current events content is explicitly trying to emotionally manipulate people into watching them more. There definitely are ones that do that. But like I have put in the effort to stop myself from just immediately posting in response to everything that happens. Because one, that would drive me insane. And two, I would have way more misses if all I was doing was trying to be one of the first people to talk about stuff. And so I'm just not interested in being a reactionary, like, I need to tell you that this is happening right now. Because for one, you don't need to know that it's happening right now. The vast majority of news stories are not time critical. Even like think about one of the most significant things that happened relatively recently, Maduro being abducted by the fucking United States military. That happened at like 3 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the night because that's what I do. And I checked my phone because I didn't know what else to do. And I saw, oh, we just fucking abducted a foreign leader. But what would knowing that sooner do? If I didn't learn about that for 3 more days, what would have changed? Absolutely nothing. And like, it's good that I'm aware of it. And I'm glad that people are aware of it. And we need to be aware of it. But it's not a matter of being aware, like being aware of things sooner when it's something that's not like, oh, there's a water main break 2 blocks from me. That's something you probably want to be aware of relatively fast. But something that's like, oh, an international military operation just occurred, and I don't agree with it. But that doesn't change that it occurred, and that wouldn't have changed that it occurred. Because I only found out about it after the fact. Reminding yourself about all the bad shit that's going on all the time is not making that bad shit happen less. It's the same with doom scrolling, right? Doom scrolling constantly does not make the doom scrolling happen less. It doesn't make the doom go away. You're not going to find a thing that fixes the doom scrolling by continuing to doom scroll. And you're not going to find solace by consuming more news content. He said, with his primary show being a news content show. But that's the point. Like, I don't want people to feel as though they need to stay glued to this thing and punish themselves with constant stress over things that they can't control, when there are other things that they could go and be doing that could put net good into the world and make a significant difference if they were not paralyzed by fear from everything that's going on right now. Turning news content into your own brain is self-inflicting suffering. I think I understand. I don't know that I fully understand. I'm gonna go pet the dog. I misread. Turning news into content in your own brain is self-inflicted suffering. In your own brain. So, I'm tripped up on the in your own brain part. What does that mean? Because for me, the suffering is just seeing things constantly. Being aware of the happenings in the world around you is never a bad thing when you are a person who is not white. Being aware of the happenings in the world around you is never a bad thing when you're a person who is not white. I'm really getting confused by something. Am I having a stroke? Because I'm just not understanding these things. You were talking about people watching news for the sake of watching news. Got it. This isn't a you problem. This is a me problem. This is an I'm busted. But being aware of the surroundings and being aware of the happenings in the world around you is never a bad thing when you're a person who is not white. Like, so for this, I don't understand I don't know where the not white part is coming out.
It's time for a drink.
And also, when you say happenings in the world around you, do you mean like local news or global stuff?
You dang
I guess I don't understand the premise here. I can hydrate. And then I'm going to pet the dog. Is very, very cozy. Very cozy boy. I do believe you must pet the dog to reset. It's true. Oh, he has an axe. Yeah, that's because you got to fight off all the non-believers. All the fucking demons and non-believers. All right, I am going to pack it up and get moving on probably some more editing so I can get that video up at some point. But thank you all so much for being here with me today. Thank you all so much for sticking with me as we hang out here on this here Friday. I don't really have anything else to say aside from sup. I guess if you want to help me out, I would really appreciate checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/endeavorance. If you're not following me on socials, you should follow me on socials. If you haven't liked the stream on YouTube, you should definitely do that before the end of the stream. That helps out quite a bit. Yeah, I think the main thing right now is just if you are so inclined, if you have the means, checking out my Patreon and supporting me that way would be super great. Mostly just, TikTok imploded, which was a revenue stream gone. And so I'm trying to find more ways to supplement that so that I can keep doing this. So that's all. Cool. Take care. Be well. I'll see y'all on next Wednesday for the next stream. Bit of a strange ending here today. Bye.